Okay, good afternoon. I would like to begin my presentation of assignment 6.5, our project, step 5 team health action plan presentation. This presentation is being done for EDL 717 with Dr. Nixon. All right, so first thing I wanted to talk about is my overall project. The idea behind my project is that we at Anne Frank Elementary School in Philadelphia, we are growing to about 1,500 students, K through 5. We have about 30% of the population is ELL, and we're talking about new ELL students and new ELL families coming in, and the school is not ready for it, for sure. So we're trying to find ways where we can bridge that gap between the families who are apprehensive to come in, they're unfamiliar with the school, with the language, and with the teachers and the administration who aren't really ready for it either. So we have to kind of show that we have a collaborative front here and pull our resources and try to welcome these families and let them understand, let them see that it is a comfortable, welcoming environment here at our school. So I put together a plan, and the gist of the plan, which we're going to go over, is once a month inviting the families, especially those new families coming in, into the school. And when they are in the school, we would like to do a workshop with them based on how the school operates, what the day-to-day operations look like, what the scheduling looks like, who the administration is, who the teachers are, some of the programs that we run before school, after school, the in-house daycare that's provided at the school as well, going over simple things like school meals. All right, at the school here in Philadelphia, everybody is receiving a free breakfast and a free lunch. So we want to get them acclimated. We want them to get acclimated with the BCAs that we employ in the building, the people that are here to do translations for not only for the students, but for the teachers, and then of course for them. So that's the gist of what I would like to implement as the leader. I'd like to be a leader of that group. And so here's my project. Here's what we looked at. So my team identification is basically I would like to send out a Google form to the faculty, asking for some volunteers, asking them to commit for an entire year. I want to try to keep it as simple as possible for them, because I understand everyone has a life outside of school. So I figured if the team was real strong, that we can help each other out, and we can also help out the parents and the students here at Anne Frank. By that, I'm talking about being prepared, being ready, doing our homework, and working as a tight-knit team. So we'll talk about that when we talk about Lencioni, I guess. All right, so my identification will be sending out a Google form to the group. The group would respond. I'm looking for a volunteer, hopefully from each grade. We have K through 5. I'd like a volunteer from K through 5, which would put us at about 6 or 7 people. Certainly would like a specialist teacher to hop in, or an ELL teacher to hop in as well. They have a wealth of expertise there, wealth of knowledge. And I'd like an administrator to pop in as well. But again, I know it's tough, so we're going to put a feeler out and see who can join the group so we can get work together for this long-term success. Okay? So that's my team identification from there. The next part is going to be the stakeholder input part that we talked about. To get a better grasp on getting groups together that are going to work, I did my interviews with 3 teachers. I did with the an assistant principal. I did it with a rookie teacher, and I did it with a teacher who is who has her time in, who can retire at any time, although she's not retiring. So I wanted to get really 3 different points of view on this. I asked them a couple questions. I tried to keep it as simple as possible, respecting their time. I asked them 5 simple questions. I'll just give you a sample of what I asked them. The overriding goal of the group will ultimately be trust amongst the team members. What do you think we can do to build trust among the members? Basically, their answers were, we're all professionals here, so we should have a healthy conversation prior to committing to the group. They should have a pretty good relationship with me, at least, and the ability to have some healthy dialogue once the formation of the group happens here. All right, we certainly did talk about things in the school that would work and things that would not. We're going to get up to that in the next section here. All right, so the input was really valuable from those 3 interviewees, and I chose them, like I said, because I've worked with them. I've been in this school for 23 years, so the veteran teacher I've been in a relationship with for 23 years. One of the best teachers I've ever worked with. The assistant principal is very teacher friendly, and the rookie teacher, has a different perspective on things. So I thought it'd be interesting to get their ideas together. And another question that I interviewed when I did the interview was, how can we ensure that we're paying attention to the results of our work? If we're truly committed and we're holding ourselves accountable, how can we ensure that we're paying attention? And the overriding answer that I got from them was basically, at the end, we have to reflect on what we did. And we have to be open. We have to be willing to say, this did not work. These things did not work, whether it's, the time of the meeting, if it's the place of the meeting, if it's the way that we handled things, if it was written, if it was computerized. There's so many moving parts to this. And I think it's really important, and as they did, is we have to reflect. Now, we will reflect as we go along, but at the end, after their full year commitment, we definitely have to have a sit down and talk about what worked, what didn't. And it would be incumbent upon me as the leader of this group to really take those points to heart and really then circle back for next year and to change what needed to be changed. All right. And I think if they did that, and if I did that, it would build the trust. And we've been talking about trust during the entire course of 717. All right. So that was the stakeholder input. The model that I would like to follow here would be the research-based model from Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions. And again, I've been doing a lot of writing about Lencioni, and I think the reason I like it is because it's simple. There's 5 steps to it. We could watch the YouTube video that we watched in class. What was it, 1.5 minutes? Even the long video was only a few minutes longer than that. It's very simple to ascertain. It's very simple to talk about, and we can hash things out and build on that pyramid scheme that Lencioni on the diagram that he drew. Talking about trust. Trust has to be the building block of all of it. We need to be open and honest. We have to be willing to maybe have a little healthy dialogue with each other. I think one of the things that we remember from the video is one of the things that we talked about in the video was if there's going to be conflict, there should be some conflict, but it should be healthy conflict. Then there has to be the commitment. So right up front, I'm asking them to commit for a year. That will build the trust, and then we'll get to the accountability, of course, and then the results. Okay, so that will be the model that I think that this team that's going to work with the parents at the school. I think that this would be the model that we would like to follow. It would be nice and simple, even for those members who aren't familiar with Lencioni's 5 dysfunctions of a team. We can introduce it. This could be one of our meetings, and certainly we can move on from there. So my trust action plan at this point, the process that we will use to develop the trust action plan Honestly, quite simple. The whole idea behind this group is to keep the eyes on what the prize is. And the prize is success with the students, the parents, teachers, administration of Anne Frank Elementary School. We're going to get there. It's not going to happen in the first year. And we have to be real smart about that. We have to be centered. It's not going to happen in the first year. We hope to make strides, but the old adage is usually things take about 3 years to grab some traction. So the first year, we'd like to learn from our mistakes, and we plan on making mistakes. The second year, we will put those changes into effect, and hopefully by the third year, we'll have cleaned up some of the loose ends, and we can develop a better project for all the stakeholders here. All right, so I do think if we keep Lencioni in mind, if we keep the eyes on the prize, I think that's how we ultimately will get the success that we're looking for. All right, so just as a implementation summary of the learning that I feel that we've done in 717, I feel that I've addressed the cultural responsiveness in this plan simply because we created a group for the sole purpose of bridging the gap between the teachers and the students and their families, administration. The objective of my group is to be sympathetic to the disconnect that we currently have between the teachers and the families throughout the entire school year, and we can address that gap through these monthly meetings with the parents. I tried to make sure that all the stakeholders would be represented in the group. I'm sending out the Google form asking for the volunteers. My aim is that I'll get at least one grade level teacher, a specialist, and hopefully an administrator to not only be invited, but to join the group and to participate in this group. And then finally, at the end, after their year-long commitment, I certainly would like to, as my 3 interviewees put it, we really do need to reflect and find out what worked, stick with it, make it better, what didn't work, and how to react to what didn't work in the group. Okay? So I put as a reflection of myself, I can look at myself and try to assess my own health as a member of this team. I do plan to try to take the lead as much as possible in this team. But when you do work with teachers, you have to be flexible. So I certainly want to grasp this team. I want to be the lead. I want to be the point person. And then I do plan on bringing this idea to my administration. They're usually very receptive, especially to something new. And they're also receptive to the idea that it may work and it may not work as well. But I do like the fact that they appreciate that we are trying things. They certainly like anything that's teacher-led like this. So I am excited to do this. Little apprehensive because I did try it. And one of the things I put in my paper that we turned in on 5/5 was I did try a version of this about 5 years ago before COVID. And the biggest issue that I had was I just had no buy-in from any of the faculty. Nobody was interested in donating their time or their resources. So it kind of fell flat and it all fell on me. I led the group. I made a lot of errors in that group, and I certainly was more kindergarten focused because that's where I've been for the past 13 years. So I needed to reflect and figure out, well, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better 5 years ago? And I'm hopefully going to learn from that as I start this brand new group. Okay. Lastly, just for some reference material, throughout 5/5 and 6/5 here, I have referred to and used Maxwell's 360-degree leader. I've done some other polls here, if you can see, from Roberts, Simic, the Covey videos, and of course, Lencioni. Thank you for your time.